What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Trail Talk. Today we're covering top 10 mods to do to your side-by-side. Let's go. Yes! Okay, once again, welcome back. My name is Evan, per usual. My name doesn't change. Neither does Eric's. He's behind the camera. You'll notice not on the trail again today. This is another episode, therefore, of Shop Talk. And as we stated, we're covering, Eric, these are strong words. There's going to be arguments in the comments, and we're not going to stop it. These are the top 10 modifications that we're saying you should do first on your side-by-side, brand new or not. And keep in mind now, these aren't like crazy modifications. You're not gonna see an insane wrap or paint job. These are like truly the top adds that you should do to the vehicle to make it more comfortable, work a little bit better, give you some added functionality, but we're gonna get into it. So first thing, over your head is a roof. Guess what? It's very simple. It's a roof, right? It's going to protect you from sun, rain. You gotta have it, right? Like, this is already coming on a good amount of vehicles straight from the factory. If it's not, a lot of dealers too will kind of have one already installed. Literally, like, first thing you need is get a roof. Think about it too, like, it's not just you in the vehicle. You might have, a significant other, right? Maybe a potential significant other that you want to impress. Be nice, get a roof over your head. It also just completes the look of the vehicle. Like, not a whole lot of this is meant to be cool, style, whatever, but a lot of this stuff does look cool, like we always say. So there are different options. This is a poly roof, so it's, a synthetic material. There are aluminum roofs that are a lot thinner, so it's like this thin strip of aluminum. A roof honestly can really change the look of a vehicle. And I'm sure if you've looked at roofs, you're like, oh, this one does this, I like this one, the color, you need different colors. Just a great way to accessorize and customize your machine for how you want it. Windshield, AKA a windy. I don't know. A Wendy? A windy. I don't know if anyone uses that term, but we might start using that term. Okay, up front, windshield. Guess what? Just as easy as the roof. Shields from the wind. Also rain, dust. It is just helping shield the front of the vehicle. If you feel like you're getting buffeted with wind a lot, also just, a lot of people like this as a great comfort thing. A huge question that we get when it comes to windshields is, do I go glass or do I go poly? This is a glass windshield currently on this vehicle. The benefits of glass are, it's a more premium like style or option. It's more expensive than poly is. It's harder. So the material hardness is harder on glass, so it's more scratch resistant, durable over time, maintains clarity in the glass. Which are all definitely considerations. Literally, on the way, I drove this vehicle here 2 days ago, brand new windshield that I put on, and it hailed on the way over. And I literally texted Eric, and I was like, we might not have a windshield. But no problems whatsoever. Hail was hitting this entire vehicle. There's no cracks. Eric, coming up close, we're not lying, right? Glass is very durable. Poly is the other option. The reason you would want poly is, it's really hard to say which one to do, so you're gonna have to listen to these and decide for yourself. Poly is a less expensive option. However, I would definitely recommend you get a coated poly because it will also help with scratch resistance over time. It's not the same as glass, but it will definitely help getting a coated poly. It is also much lighter than glass. So if you're building like a speed machine or something really light and you don't want to have as much weight, or you're already having a lot of weight on there, poly is a great way to simply lower the weight. The difference between a glass windshield poly, there's pros and cons. Yeah, pick which one ever you like. Coolest thing ever about a windshield, install. So firstly, I'm like, yeah, you're trying. It's super actually on there. These two clips, that side's uninstalled. Over here. And listen, we don't do install videos. We're just showing, this is about what I can accomplish. The whole windshield, you'd have to like kind of just angle it out, but the whole windshield, look it, is completely off the vehicle. That's how easy the install is. Why don't I just reinstall it? Clip, clip, and back over here. Nothing too crazy. See those? That's where you're getting that nice tension. Those are adjustable. Makes it the easiest thing in the world. That is your windy. There's also like a million options. And this is, look at the benefits, the pros, the cons. There's vented options with little vents down here if you want more or less airflow. There's ones where the whole windshield tips out on dampers. And you can have it, you can ride with it up. Kind of looks like your side-by-side is wearing a baseball hat almost with the visor up. There's a half windshields. There's tinted windshields. You can go crazy. The point is, if you want the protection and shielding from the wind, get a windshield. What I highly recommend pairing with a windshield is a rear panel. So actually, first come around this way really quickly, Eric. Okay. Can you see like this recessed channel? That right angle? Yes. There's a very nice, on our machines, area for both the windshield and the rear to seal into. They have rubber stripping around the side to help seal, but you want a rear panel, especially paired with a windshield. The reason for this is, and again, this is a science thing where we're just gonna have to, we don't know the science, but there is a vortex and swirl almost created if you were to only run a windshield. If you have done it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. As you're driving, the wind breaks over the windshield and comes around the machine and almost comes in like the back and can like legit come back into the vehicle. So if you change that air, I'm gonna say some words that I don't know. Aerodynamics, the air pressures, I don't know exactly, but if you seal the back off with a rear panel, it creates very consistent, like comfortable environment inside the vehicle. So you really wanna have that. It also, because of that phenomenon, which I'm gonna call it, it reduces road noise. It makes it more comfortable in here. So once again, if you have a potential significant other, now you're having a better conversation. Hey, you can listen to your music better. If you're on radio systems, you're hearing your radio better. Some people don't like windshields, and they want an open system. It really comes down to preference and what you want. But if you're getting the front windy, I really recommend getting the rear panel. Okay, next thing on here, we're talking about mirrors. Two different mirrors that you're gonna want. Listen, these are so inexpensive, it's like, this is pure no-brainer. Get a good side mirror and get a good rear view mirror. And that would be, for clarity, 2 side mirrors. Yeah. Listen, seeing, and this is gonna be a common topic, is really cool. You wanna be able to see, say you're in a helmet and possibly a harness, even if you're just in a 3-point seat belt, looking back with a helmet and goggles on gets a little tough, right? Or looking back that way. Having the mirrors right there where you're just turning your head, you want to be focused on the trail. This is where you want your vision and where you want to see. So if you're backing up to a trailer or whatever it might be, also, if you're riding in a group, not having to guess, did I leave them at that corner? Are they still behind me? In the rear view mirror, you can always see the 2 headlights kind of just bumping around and you get that flash and you know they're still with you. Or you see them in your side view mirror and you know they're still with you. Really technical stuff here, Eric. And while we're at it, here, I didn't even think of this, but get yourself a backup camera, right? Like if you're already going to appreciate the benefits of a rear view mirror, and you might be hearing some beeping, but don't worry, it's okay. Things are just turning on. If I put it in reverse, boom. I've got the rear view, or the rear camera right there. You can actually get a front camera, but if you have a ride command vehicle, it's already coming with a rear view camera most likely. But if you're hemming and hawing over ride command, get the rear camera is so awesome. You're gonna miss it once you don't have it, I promise. Next thing is the doors. So we're in a general, first and foremost. So note that different vehicles come with different doors. This actually comes with what we call a full half door, or let's just call it a half door, because it is halfway up, there's no window. We tracking, Eric?
Yes, I'm following.
There are razors, obviously, that come with what's called a quarter half door or a quarter door. It's half of a half door. There's an opening on the bottom. New vehicles like the Pro XP have a half full, half door with like a little pocket. There's tons of different doors is the point. These are really cool doors because one, again, they protect you from splash, from, sometimes rocks will, bump up and get kicked up, gravel, whatever. They offer more protection, which protection is really good. They also can shade you, but there's also a ton of looks that you get from a door. Like literally, if you add half doors to a machine, say you have a RZR with quarter doors, it transforms the side of the vehicle in a great way, if that's the look you're going for. Quarter doors though, so remember just this, say if this was a RZR, are really awesome in the desert because they allow wind to help cool you down on the inside. So sometimes if you're putting a full door on, consider that there's less airflow, but there's more protection. All pros and cons that you're gonna wanna consider. Now on a Ranger, for example, those a lot of times come with netting or net doors, if that's a thing. You can put doors on those too. You can literally go up to a full with window door if you want. And on the most premium options, there's literally, it would be in here, powered windows just like you'd be familiar with in everyday life. So literally, you could go all the way up to a crazy full door setup, powered windows. You can get canvas windows. You can enclose the cab that way. Really, it's whatever you want for looks, protection, airflow, all that different stuff. There's inserts for different colors. Get a good door, right? Very important. Next thing, we're talking winches down here. I'm just sitting on the ground. If I sit on the mic, yeah, let me know. Winch down here, right? So I am a huge proponent of carrying a winch. With bigger vehicles, with side-by-sides, this is like critical, especially if you're riding by yourself. For a recovery situation, whether it's someone you meet on the trail who's in need of getting their vehicle unstuck, if it is yourself, if it's a buddy, this is the #1 recovery tool that will help you get out of a sticky situation. Also, if you come on in here for a close-up. Yes. The blue rope. This is, and there's gray rope, there's yellow rope, tons of options. This is synthetic rope. The old way that winches came was with steel cable. Listen, just get synthetic, like it's not even a question anymore. Synthetic is better in every way. It's stronger, it's lighter, it's more flexible, it's easier to use, it's safer, it has a longer overall life. It's just simply the best option. And once again, like you can do really cool stuff up front with closed systems for pulling, the standard hook, good to go. You got the bumper, the strap for visibility, all that good stuff. I highly recommend getting a winch just because of what value it brings to a recovery scenario. A lot of our vehicles, by the way, too, are literally pre-wired for winches. So if you're like me, I hate doing electrical work. But if all you have to do is bolt the winch in, move a couple panels, and then it's already you just plug it right in. Easiest install ever. The new winches really are just a no-brainer these days. Highly recommend. Okay, we're too much at the front of the vehicle. We're going to the back of the vehicle right now. We're talking next, lock and ride. Now, there's a ton of different options. We don't have a side-by-side, like specific thing for this vehicle here today, but we have an ATV box that we're gonna use just to show you what it is, and it'll make a lot of sense. So, what is lock and ride? Firstly, it's like Legos. It's the coolest storage system ever for a vehicle. Basically what you're talking here, if I flip this down, again, this is for an ATV, not for this vehicle. There are boxes, custom designed storage boxes with a lid. Closed storage, which would be commonly known as a closed storage box, Eric.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's open storage boxes. There's coolers that you can put in. There's audio that you can put in. There is hunting accessories that will stick in here, which by the way, I'll explain this in a second, but there's hunting accessories that will hold a firearm or a fishing pole or a shovel, whatever you want. There's huge adventure racks, right? I can't even describe to you all the different lock and ride stuff, but here's how it works. So you'll notice on Rangers, on Generals, there's all these interesting large holes, which if you know how they work, they're not that interesting because you know how they work. But if you haven't seen them, you're kind of like, okay, what's that for? Well, if I flip this back up, here's what lock and ride is and how easy it is. So there's all these different, I'm gonna call them plugs, I guess, that fill this hole. And then if you just stay in here, and I'll show you the lever in a second, you actuate this. Can you see it changing if I come?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Let's do it again.
So it's currently not engaged, and I just engaged it.
It gets a little thicker?
A little thicker. And if you look in here, this is how simple it is. Do you know how to like open your front door at home? Then you can use lock and ride. Boom. It's that simple. And you just pop the whole thing in, you flip all these up, boom, ready to go. This is for an ATV, but it just is a closed storage box. Boom, you've got clasps, everything is secured. There are lockable options if you want to keep things more secure, if you're bringing certain items with you on the trail, you can keep those protected as well inside of a locked box. Having a locked box or just a closed box is a great way to just not have loose gear. Again, you don't want loose things in the vehicle. We've talked about this already. You really want to have good storage options, and lock and ride, literally, it makes it so easy. Next up, we're talking about protection. Front bumpers, obviously this is a metal bumper. Rock sliders go the whole length of the vehicle. That would be that guy right there. Rear bumpers, not on this vehicle, but you could imagine. And then underneath the whole thing, the belly skid, if I can say that. Okay, why do you want this stuff? Well, firstly, I already said the word protection. Everybody loves protection. This is going to prevent brush or like, hey, if you're on a tight trail, different things, impact resistance, you're gonna wanna have a bumper helping protect. They're also super functional. Like, come on down here, Eric, look at how many things are attached to this. So I've got some tabs that I have some lights mounted to. Hey, maybe we'll talk about lighting next. This light bar is attached here. There's still other holes, so you have a lot of different configurations. You could have multiple things here. Again, winch, more accessible usually on a bumper, and bring the fair lead a little bit further out. Really awesome, good and functional. Rock sliders. Eric, have we ever used these before?
Yes.
We tagged a rock the first video, right?
Yeah.
In the Razor. Rock sliders are just what they kind of sound like. They will, in a much easier format, slide over rocks and prevent the plastic rocker panel from being the thing that gets gouged over a rock. You really don't want to tag your plastic. Way harder to replace. Rock sliders, scrape them up over time, no big deal. You can just paint, you can rattle can paint them if you need to each season, whatever. Awesome piece of kit to have. There are also too, like low-key benefit, just like the handholds. You need to do something up here, boom, you've got a step. Someone's trying to get in the vehicle, boom, you've got a step to get in. So highly recommend getting rock sliders if you're gonna have vehicle, these have a lot of clearance already, right? But if you're going to be in terrain that has rocks big enough or stumps or whatever, you definitely want to have protection. We love protection. Once again, on this part of the vehicle. Down here.
Oh boy.
Skids. Oh, I just got a bunch of dirt in my eye, directly in my eye. Under the vehicle is a skid plate. Now, there are OEM or from the factory skids that are coming on all these vehicles. I always recommend to people, because it's like, hey, how much, here's the thing. This stuff weighs a certain amount too. You don't, again, just like buying apparel and gear, you don't want to put everything in the world on your vehicle and weigh it down. So it really is going to come down to, what are you riding in? Do you need the protection in the front, in the rear, on the side, on the bottom? I recommend running the factory stuff for as long as you can. Hey, it's there for a reason. It's validated. If you're starting to hit the factory stuff or you want an upgrade, boom. You can upgrade at that point in time, get some more protection. But definitely recommend all the way around the vehicle. Having some amount of protection is definitely a good thing. Would you concur, Eric?
Yes.
Some lighting is better than none, but you also don't want to go crazy here too. You don't need to go spend all the money in the world on lights. I recommend starting with, I love what you said, Eric, some, better than none, better than just headlights, which, by the way, go ride with just headlights. Like they're really good. There's high beam, low beam right here. You're gonna have a good time and you're gonna be able to tell if you need more. But here's the bottom line. We've already talked about this. Seeing, right? Mirrors, goggles, all that good stuff. Seeing with lights is awesome. You want to see when you're going down the trail, especially at speed. What these really do is help extend the riding day. So if it's morning, boom, you can see better in the morning. Maybe start the day earlier, get out there sooner. If it's nighttime, you can get back still, or you can see and be seen by other people. When you're driving, I don't know if you ever noticed it at nighttime, your eyes get stressed in low light scenarios because we're not like cats, owls. Our eyes aren't designed to see as well at night. So if you can light up the night, that might be a tagline. If you can light up the night, it makes it way more stress-free on your eyes, much less stress. Okay, lights themselves. There are 3 different beam patterns in general, and then there's a combination of some of them. There are flood, driving, and spot, and then some combinations. Flood lighting usually is in kind of a fog light area, if you will, or up on the A-pillars shooting out, sometimes out the sides. Flood is flooding the area. It's the widest beam pattern. It's going the least distance like away from you, but it's giving you the most broad beam pattern. So if I'm in the vehicle and I have one on the A-pillar and it's pointed out the side just a little, I'm getting some good ditch lighting. I'm seeing the sides of the trail, possibly helping me see around some corners. Great to have. Sometimes people put them here as another common location. These are not floodlights. This is the next beam pattern. These are driving pattern for lights, a driving pattern. This is kind of the most versatile pattern. It is seen further in distance than a floodlight would, but it is a slightly narrower beam. It's the most versatile because honestly, what you're getting, any pods like this, if you've never seen them, it's crazy. It's unbelievable how much you can light up with like a couple pods. If they're up here, if they're down here. So having 2 driving lights here, this is actually like this is my preferred setup, really helps cast light out. They're just slightly angled to get it wide, just a little bit, and it really helps you see more paired with the headlights. The last beam pattern is a spot beam pattern, and it's helping you spot down the trail. So this is all, flooding the area. Driving, basically what you want for driving speeds, and spot is a super tight, almost like a laser beam, kind of going down the trail and really giving you the most distance. A lot of the time that is coming from a bar is probably one of the most common ways that spot is used. You totally can get pods that are with spot, but usually it makes more sense with a bar. And then there's combo, which basically combines a lot of the times spot and driving. So like if you're seeing these individual pods, it could be that the middle section is spot and then the outsides are driving. So these little like housings would actually be wider on the outsides. You can also get driving and flood. Tons of different options. What I really recommend with lighting, I keep the light low as possible. A lot of people go straight to putting a 30-inch light bar up top. So if you're in a lot of dust, or if it's raining, or there's inclement weather, the bar up here is actually like flaring the whatever debris is in front of you. So it's almost showing you the dust more, or the rain more, or whatever. I don't recommend using a bar up top unless you ride alone a lot and you ride in conditions where it's clear. If it's like that, it's the coolest thing ever because you put a spot bar up here. But keeping the light down here is like more how fog lights are set up to go under the debris and still light everything up. The last tip on lighting is if you were to be running what people are gonna call chase lights or like a chase bar. If you've seen like race cars or the Baja 1000, crazy races, there's usually like blue, red, yellow, white lights. They're blinking. Once again, no idea what that means. I know red means brakes, blue means something, there's some that are always on. You know, look it up. This is more basic. What I do recommend is having some kind of light back here so that if you were trail riding, someone could see that they're approaching the rear of your vehicle, even through the dust. A great color for that is amber lighting. Amber is a really good one to have. You know, you totally could add another red brake light if you really wanted to. And then last thing with lighting is just simply, if you're working out of your vehicle, there are little lights that you could put on top. They're called like scene lights for like a work scene, right? Doing a jig. You could put rock lights in here, which help you see, go figure, rocks on the trail, and or just give a nice aura if you're like camping or whatever. If it's at night, a lot of the time I recommend red or amber because once again, it like helps with your night vision. Not real night vision, but like your eyes seeing at night. So start with some, and then add it more as you go on trips or rides, and you see what you need. Can you see the front there, Eric?
Yeah.
It just gets out of control with how much lighting there is. So you've got these lights on, you've got the pods that are casting a little bit wider beam. Lighting is so cool. White light up front literally just makes the daytime light. And you'll kind of figure it out as you ride, but you don't always need to have on the outside lights. You could have just the spot beam if you needed that. Or you could run just those, right? All these things just run to switches on the inside, and you could do whatever you want. Super cool. Lighting is the best. We've saved the best for last. It's wheels and tires, Eric.
Yes.
Is this the first thing you do to a vehicle?
Yes. Absolutely.
This is the low-key first thing. If you're even considering buying a vehicle, you may know this, you already know what wheels and tires you're gonna get. And you're like, I'm gonna get them day one, and then sometimes you just don't even get them. But it's like, you have to know the wheels and tires. This is a limited edition. It has different tires and like kind of some cool guy wheels on it, right? Literally, wheels and tires can change the look of a vehicle. The aggressive tread, the sidewall, right? We're doing all this Googling, finding the right fit. So the biggest thing is wheels and they are very important. This is what connects the vehicle to the ground. This is the point of contact. All these lugs are just getting mashed in the ground and we're asking a lot of them. And we're asking them to be durable. The biggest thing people ask more than anything is like, how big can I go? What is the biggest tire I can put on this machine? I think we're already getting comments on this in certain videos. Here's the deal. Look in the owner's manual and you will find what our approved tire size, the largest tire size is for a vehicle. These size tires that we send were designed for this chassis plastic to work through all types of suspension movements and events. So usually on a machine, you're gonna get a very versatile tire. It's going to be, medium lug depth. It's gonna have a very versatile lug tread pattern. It's gonna allow you to do dirt, hard pack desert, loamy terrain, sand if you need, some muddy trail. Notice I didn't say mud, Eric.
Yes. Nice.
Muddy trail. These are gonna be the most versatile. And really where you're gonna see differences is in very specific applications. So you can certainly get a more aggressive tire, but if you're going to go in the sand, there is literally paddles on these tires. For mudding, there is actually huge paddles where if you come to the front here, Eric, there's like scoops like this, and then there's just all these sets of scoops, right? And they just claw through the mud, and at the same time, because there's so much gaps between the treads, the excess mud just flings right out. They're like kind of self-clean, if you've ever heard that. They fling the mud away. But start off riding just simply with the standard tire, see what you need if you need any differences. We really recommend going with a heavier ply rating for preventing flats, if you're hitting rocks, whatever it might be. An 8 to 10 is going to be more resistant to punctures, and it's going to be tougher. I would equally look at the ply rating on the sidewall of the tire, because you could pinch flat, a rock could cut the side, it could gouge it. These are all things to consider. However, to totally ruin the simple point I was making, those weigh more. Some people will say you want weight in the good place, which is where you need it to be strong. That's true, and if you need a strong tire, totally do that. If you don't need as strong of a tire, lighter is less rotating weight and is faster and can be, a lot easier on axles and certain things. So just keep in mind the vehicle is built a certain way. Changing tires is super awesome. I do it it's the most fun thing to do. Just know that there's a lot of things going on with tires. It's the thing that's touching the ground. It is very important. Wheels. Get the coolest wheel you can. No, there's some thought behind wheels. So first and foremost, you want to make sure your wheel is going to fit the right bolt pattern. Pretty simple. Get the Polaris bolt pattern. The wheel diameter, make sure it obviously fits, because no duh. The width of the wheel can determine a little bit. Usually a tire will be rated for a certain width. You can look that all up in our owner's manual, or if you're doing other crazy stuff, look it up. But honestly, people just get the wheels that they really want. What looks cool to them, it goes a lot back to style. I hate being like, oh, style. But really it's like the look of the machine. So if it's, some wheels are lighter, some are stronger. Really it comes down to your personal preference. The biggest thing on wheels is, do you go with a bead lock, which is very conveniently colored blue here. Can you tell on the?
Yeah, it's blue.
Okay.
It matches.
See, I don't have the eyes of Eric, which is the camera's eyes. The blue part here is a bead lock. Every single one of these bolts is literally, locking the bead of the tire onto the wheel. Why would you do this? Well, it gives you a little more protection here. It protects the wheel, so you could gouge this whole ring up, unscrew it, put a new one on, good to go. You can air down the tires a little bit more because it's locking the bead on if you're going to go on the sand or need more traction in mud, whatever. They do require more maintenance. You do these and you do the star pattern, whatever, crisscross. You have to literally specifically do these bolts in a certain way. If you know what to do, it isn't that hard. It's just bolts, and torque. So if you want them, they're awesome. If you don't want them, you can make it work without them. That will conclude, you guys, we stuck in there. Eric, did we cover all the mods?
Top 10. Yeah.
Top 10. Listen, I know it's a big claim. Let's come back up here. It's a big claim to say top 10 mods. I already know someone commented and disagreed. You got 2 minutes into the video and you put your own thing, have at it, right? If we missed anything, which I know we probably did, put it in the comments. Let us know, your opinion of tires, your opinion of lighting, some crazy thing that we missed. But hopefully we've shown you, these are the top 10 things that you're gonna wanna do if you can. One more thing on the video. Listen, everyone on YouTube says it. Eric, I still don't know if we've earned it.
Go for it.
Like, comment, subscribe. Listen, if you're having fun, if you're, once a week, you're enjoying a nice meal, maybe, a burrito while watching our videos, like the video. Click the like button, it's super easy. If you are enjoying all of the videos and want to know if there's more, hit the subscribe button. Last thing, you might know the trend. Listen, these machines, are they cool, Eric?
They're very cool.
They're super cool. Guess what? You can put really cool tires and wheels on them. They are not cool when they just sit in the garage and they don't get used. Use the machines, go ride. Please, we're begging you. If you want any extra info, listen, check our website. Don't check our website. Just come back for the next Trail Talk video. We'd love to have you. Thank you for hanging, everyone. Oh, and one more thing. Go on a ride this week. See ya.